again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your live match reaction following world-class Liverpool taking Town apart. 4-1 home win there. What are your thoughts? Whether you're watching live or on catch-up, do give us your thoughts, your opinions, your predictions for next week, any changes, anything you've got on your mind that's Town-related. We want to hear it this evening, and of course, you can join the show. There is a link in the chat for you to join us. Benjamin Dow, Townsend and Brawley, I thought were great when they came on. They were far more positive going forwards, which we lacked in the first half. Alex still would love to see us get back to 4-2-3-1 with Amari, Cisco and Brody. Away fans loud again. They certainly were. But don't forget, before we get started, we are partnered with the East Anglian Air Ambulance. If you want to help save lives and have the chance to win £1,000 every week, play the East Anglian Air Ambulance Lottery. By playing for just £1 each week, you're helping to keep their yellow helicopters flying. Yes, that's always a mouthful, always. The East Anglian Air Ambulance Lottery creates 18 winners every week with prizes ranging from £50 to £1,000. Over 18s only. T's and T's apply. Link in our description. Please gamble responsibly. Josh Russell, much better second half goal with them. Confidence going into confidence going into Saints. All right, Sid Cup. I know we lost, but I thought Phillips had his best game for Town today. All right, we'll get into that as well. Keep them coming in. Joining me first and foremost is Mr. Lee Anderson. Lee, welcome to the show. What are your thoughts following Liverpool 4, Town 1? You're on mute.
I'm off mute now.
There you go.
Oh, well, let's deal with the first 75 minutes until the substitutions. What an awful watch that was. Dreadful.
Very much so.
We can set a low block, what it's called now, but no pressure on the ball. We didn't win a single tackle. I can't recall winning a single tackle.
Yeah.
And we were just waiting to be put to the sword. Now, I know you got to strike a balance between defending and, when you're away at Anfield, but we've got to show a little bit more than that. When their two centre-backs are standing 30 yards from the goal, where are we going to go with it? There's no how. We sometimes maybe just keep the lap a little bit further up the pitch, just to occupy the two centre backs, so they're not just strolling the ball around. It was just, it was a real painful watch, and the errors in some of the goals that get you relegated, and one of those was Twanzebe not holding the line and playing whoever it was on side for the second goal, I think.
Yeah, no, I know the one you're on about. Yeah, the one where he's sort of caught ball watching a little bit and plays them on side. Do you question? You say about how first half or first 65 minutes didn't really win the second ball, etc. What about the intensity for you, Lee? Was our intensity good enough? Were we having the desire to get on the ball or win the ball, etc.? How did you see all of that? Because that was a big conversation on our Discord all afternoon.
Well, it was quite. It was clear when you play a low block like that, and you start to walk about a bit, and what I mean by walk about, you're holding a position. There is no intensity. It drains the intensity out of you. So when you do get the ball, the intensity from Liverpool was just to surround and swarm our midfield too. So we had no, but then again, and then there's no outlet. So there's nothing to release the pressure when you get the ball. You want the lap playing on the shoulder of the last defender. And then we can play. We know if we're going to get the ball, we can clear it long. If we have to clear it long, at least you're going to be able to contest the ball and take people out of the game. I mean, the fourth goal, there was no desire to run out and close that ball down from Jalen Phillips. No desire, not even close enough to the ball. And when you've got people who can whip crosses in like that, it doesn't matter how many centre backs you got standing on the 6-yard box. When crosses are coming in between the centre back and Walton, and they're landing, low. I mean, Walton made one save on the ground. You're just asking for trouble. You are just really asking for trouble. We're so worried about them playing inside and out this. But there was no intensity to it at all. And then some of that comes from the defender, but then having no outlet. Every time Amari got the ball, all he could do was run with it. Every time Delap got the ball, he had no one to pass to. He had to run with it. And they're getting swarmed by free players. They're just not you're not gonna go through a team like Liverpool.
And this is what I was saying midweek, Lee, on the match preview show about our transition, and it needs to get better. When it's okay, having 11 players behind the ball, condensing the shape, making it so you can't be played through, even though we are played through. And they are world-class players, and you mustn't take that away from them. But it's the transition. When we have an ability to transition from front to back, and it goes into Amari or it goes into the lap, there's very little options. They're often running down blind alleyways because there's nowhere else to go. They're trying to beat 3 or 4 players at a time. We need to get a little bit better on that. And maybe, what we've seen these last 2 weeks, world-class teams doing world-class things. New flash, that was always going to happen. But equally, not something we'll see in future weeks when we start to play other teams that perhaps aren't as world-class, and you're able to maybe go back to the 4-2-3-1, maybe commit a player further forward. Do you feel, what you're seeing is maybe just a symptom of playing world-class players and trying to keep it yourself in the game, albeit not very successfully?
Yeah, I guess it's damage a limitation, and it's not going to define our season at all, is it? But
no.
But you've got to show, you've got to try to, I think, do a little bit more. But if you come out 4-0 with the possession that they've had, you'd probably took 4-0 at half, 4-1. You'd have took that at half time.
Yeah,
that's for sure. But when we made the substitutions, Liverpool was still playing the same way, but we made the substitutions and they made a massive, massive difference. There's clear. Broadhead was able to hold the ball. Philligan didn't do anything for his first game. What a baptism for him. But
good assist though. Set pieces. Can we talk about set pieces? We finally got one. Another one.
Yeah. But it wasn't Philligan. It wasn't Philligan, was it?
No, it was in Cisco. But Lee, can I just ask you about that second half? Because I think you're right. Second half we were much better. The subs were good when they came on. But can you also attribute that down to Liverpool perhaps taking a foot off the pedal, and the game is won from their perspective, and there's less intensity from them? Do you feel there's any argument to that?
No, because they made their substitute, so they put their subs on before we made ours. I think, didn't they? They at 4-0, they made 3 or 4 changes, and you'd expect, well, maybe we'd come back into the game a little bit then because there might be a bit. The game just carried on exactly the same, and the game carried on until we made our subs, and that was what you said earlier. There was no different. Liverpool were playing the same way for the whole of the second half, where they were just waiting for us and to pick us off. But we managed to then break that press. The balls were going into Broadhead, and he took a couple on his chest and was able to turn. And Cisco, for the Hurst chance, he got the ball, quick feet, beat a player, and we were breaking. We didn't have.
He's got to score there, by the way. He's got to score there.
Oh, he's just not directed it half a yard to the left, and that goes in. But we got our goal in. We got a goal in the end. But you can see when Cisco did that just sparked, and there was a bit more confidence. And I don't think Liverpool played that any different. They didn't play that any different at all. And when the subs came on, we didn't do it just once. We got up the pitch 2 or 3 times, and then we got the goal. So I think the front three made a big difference. And Cisco, if he plays like that for us for the rest of the season, then he's going to give us a real chance. That's for sure. And I thought Broadhead really did well when he came on. He was playing the same position, and he just got the ball and did more with it.
Yeah,
he's
absolutely.
To goal.
I agree with you. And if he's going to do that for the rest of the season, it's a great loan acquisition. Before I let you go, got a comment here from Sam. He says, definitely need another midfield player before the end of the window. Do you agree with that?
Well, that was the only other comment I was going to make. We missed Kajusta today because we couldn't get the ball out. We had 2 static midfielders that when they got the ball, they didn't move with it. And if they're not going to move with it, they're just going to get swarmed, and they're going to their ball's going to be taken off them. So we need somebody better than the 2 we started today. Now that's a high benchmark because you've got players that, if you take Morsey for example, he's not ever played in the Premier League, and you can't really judge him on the last 2 games because he's playing. Again, you have to accept the level of the players that you're playing against. But I really think that we need somebody, if we can, to come in of Kajusta's calibre who can put their foot on the ball and play the ball as well. Because when we're playing these tight games and we're under the cosh, we need someone that can just use that half a yard of pace. When Morsey was doing it in the Championship and in League One, he was a better player. He was of a standard to be able to do that, and he couldn't do that. He couldn't do that today. So it's not all about Morsey. I get that, but we definitely need I would say another midfielder. To come in, particularly when Okajusta's not in the team.
All right, Lee. Appreciate you coming on.
And if you want a man of the match, then Cisco. There you go.
All right, there you go. Perfect.
Brilliant
All right,
tackle.
Lee,
Brilliant tackle.
Yes. And then an assist.
But
Absolutely.
man of the match from the sub says it all.
All right. Take it. Lee, look after yourself. Appreciate you coming on the show. Look after yourself. We've got Chris Boyd. The lap doesn't work in these kind of games, and that means no pressure is released as the opposition can completely disregard him and push right up. Hamish, for the first time since he joined, Davis's place in 11 is in question. Townsend looks much better at defending and has a fine left foot. Harps, don't forget, we just played one of the best teams in Europe. You can't expect to go toe-to-toe with them. We just haven't got the players. The energy in the midfield is very limited. Whereas Joe says 6 goals conceded against City and Liverpool at the start of the season, 10 conceded second half of the season. Have we got any better? Answer Joe in the conversation or get involved and answer Joe directly on the show by clicking the link. Robert says, don't shoot me for saying this, but Saints are the must win, not a don't lose. And Peter, Townsend and Broadley, the outstanding contributions from the bench. Appreciate all your comments. Keep them coming in. I'm going to bring in Mike, the fisherman. Mike, I want to pick up on that Davies comment from Hamish. For the first time since he joined, Davies' place is in question. Townsend looks very much better at defending, as a fine left foot. What are your thoughts on that first and foremost?
Look, I'm the first one to criticise and give players grief, or, I'll be straight and always been honest about things, and whether people agree with them or not. Look, we've just played probably the 2 best teams in this league. I know that Man City haven't sort of been a little bit sort of lapsadaisical this season compared to previous, but technically, player for player, pound for pound, Liverpool and City are the best 2 teams in this league. Look, I'm not convinced on Greaves. I know he scored and all that. It's great, but I'm not convinced on him. I don't see him better than Burgess. And I think this is where my gripe has been all season. We keep swapping and changing that back line, and I didn't think O'Shea was great today either. But we're playing against world-class players. Just, but them goals, some of the defending was pretty crap, let's be honest. And Davis, for me, he looks knackered. He's played near enough every game. He looks tired. And, we needed some fresh legs on that left-hand side. It was nice to see, rather than 82 minutes, we get 3 more minutes of players today rather than 82. It's got 79 today. So Ken McKenna's learning on about bringing impact subs, That's a gripe, another gripe of mine, leaving substitutions far too late.
I do agree, Mike. I do agree, particularly when you're losing 4-0 and Delap gets a booking. Like, why is he on the field still at 4-0 down? Let's get him off, wrap him in cotton wool, and go again next week.
It's beyond me. It really is. It's, when is McKenna? McKenna's learning. I get all that, but Christ's sake! And the thing is, right, we're still trying to play the way we've just got us promoted. I get that, right? But we used to say, and Cruncher being an advocate of it, when teams played us in the Championship and played us in League One, if they tried to play us at our own game, we'd beat them, and we did comfortably. We're now trying to do that against teams that are miles better than us, and we're getting punished. We need to be a little. We've got no legs in the midfield, and we look Morsey today again. It was just awful. At times, there was again some moments of here and there, but look, we're bringing all these attacking players, and then I can't put it. The young lad that came on
in Cisco,
sorry,
in Cisco, I believe. I mean, I'm not great at pronunciation.
He looked a bit of a. He just gave us loads of energy, It looked good. Broady coming on, again done. Looks really good. I don't see why we signed Philip Jean, as I call him, or Billy Jean, whatever his name, what people call him. Don't understand that signing. I'm still struggling with that because I didn't think he was that good today myself. Look, we're playing Liverpool, and like I said, Greaves scored at the end and stuff, and I'm, no doubt fans will go, why are you giving Greaves stick? He scored. Well, that's not his job. His job is to bloody defend, first of all, and if we defend well and then we score, great. But look, I'm resigned to the fact we're going down, and I'll be shocked if we stay up. I really will. I just feel that today that it was, we was keeping the score line down, and we did. We managed to even score, but it wasn't a great watch. Better second half. I agree with a lot what Lee has just said beforehand. First half, it wasn't a pretty watch, and the substitution. I mean, as Cisco come on, I thought he was probably the best player. That's and he looked really up for it. And yeah, if a substitute comes on and gets man of the match, you have to sort of question it. I thought Walton had a poor game today as well.
He did. We've got a comment here from Rob Holmes, Mike, that says both our goalkeepers not Premier League standard in Rob's opinion. Would you go along with that? Would you push back on that?
Well, I said the other day to Richard, I said, look, we should be going out and getting another goalkeeper. We really should, because that could be the difference between us staying up and going down. Neither of them are good enough for this level. Neither of them. I mean, we've wasted £8 million on Muric. We really have. And look, people going, oh, he's only young. No, I don't care. He's just, both of them awful. Yeah, and not just that, we need midfield players. Phillips looked good, though. I thought that was a good game by Miller Phillips. But if there's one player in the midfield doing most of the work and the rest ain't, you're struggling.
Would you?
I think.
Would you agree with Woody Wood's comment here? Morsey's obviously undroppable. That's an issue.
Well, then that'll be Kieran's downfall, then, won't it? Because if Morsey has suddenly become undroppable, regardless, the thing is, right, if we played a 4-3-3 system, then you could have Morsey in there, 100%. But in a midfield two, you can't. He just hasn't got the legs anymore, and it shows. He's not the same player he was last season. He really isn't. And oh God, and believe me, it's painful saying that because my God, what a player he's been for us. The Premier League for me is just a little step too far for him. And I think, that's an area that's really concerning me. And if we think we're going to Southampton and turning them over.
Well, they're coming to us, but
I
see what you're saying.
Yeah, well, the thing is, that's not going to be an easy game.
No. That's our first real big pressure game of the season, Mike, if we're honest. That's the first time when as fans, it's not a, isn't it jolly good to be here? Oh, we're playing world-class players. Oh, it's okay. Next week's, for me, feels like the real big first pressure game of the season.
That's a bread and butter game for the rest of the season, isn't it?
Yeah.
You draw or lose that, and that's it, relegation. Yeah. Because if you can't beat the likes of Southampton, who are currently sat on 6 points, you don't deserve to stay up. Simple as.
It wouldn't be relegation confirmed, but it certainly would be relegation. 1 foot in the Championship. You feel like not having a positive display. And I hear your points. I pushed back against Greaves. I thought Greaves had a okay game today. It was a low bar. You can't really say you had a good game. You just lost 4-1.
But it weren't just.
Go on.
It weren't just Greaves. It was defensively.
It was a collective. Yeah.
But come back to my same point. What has Wolfenden and Burgess done wrong to be dropped?
Well, nothing. But equally, I wouldn't say
they are then. So that's my point.
Playing. That's my pushback. I would say. I mean, we are playing, and this leads on to my other point, Mike, about Jayden Philogene. We are playing world-class players. They are world-class, not just like when I was throwing away world-class comments. They are world-class. They are European heavyweight contenders. So in defence of not just those two, but equally Jayden Philogene, he's just arrived at the football club. It's his first game. He's not exactly been prolifically playing for Aston Villa. Let's not write him off too early. No.
But that's like anything. I mean, I remember when Davis had his debut, with us, he didn't have a particularly great game, and that's not about. It's just I don't understand that signing when there was other signings that we needed to be made. We needed to shore up our midfield. We are so lightweight in our defensive midfields.
I agree.
And I don't agree with Lee. They are not better than Burgess and Wolford, and stats back that up, mate. And you can sit there and say, "Oh, well, we paid £30 million for the pair," but it doesn't mean to say they're good enough. And Burgess has done nothing wrong. He's an international, was Greaves.
No,
there we are then. Enough said. The end of the day is, they're players that got us here, and this has been my gripe all season. We've brought in players, which we needed to. I get that, but we should have given I've said this time and time again. We should have given the teams that got players that got us here a chance to prove themselves.
No chance.
Why? Why? Hang on. What happened? What happened in 2000? We kept pretty much the same team, and we finished 5th. And there was a lot of fans. Listen, there was I'm a lot older than you, and I can tell you now, there was a lot of fans there said a lot of these players ain't good enough for this league, and we finished 5th. A lot of people said Burgess weren't good enough for Championship, and now suddenly he wasn't good enough for the Premier League. He's proved everybody wrong, Martin. You can't turn around and say that players aren't good enough if they've not been given enough chance to play in this league. You can't say that. You really can't.
Well. No, but it's not the year 2000. Ricky Iglesias isn't topping the charts. The Millennium Dome hasn't just been opened. But times change. Things have moved on, and football is one of the biggest things that's moved on. And
only the way it's played.
We're sitting here criticising, Sam Morsey, who's a part of that journey, or certainly yourself are. You can't say you should have stuck with the collective that got you here to see where you ended up, because you would have been, I'm fairly confident in saying, probably where Southampton are right now. You had to get better. You had to improve.
That's exactly what was said when we got promoted. When we got promoted, when you're walking out the stadium, I remember that after the Exeter game when we got promoted from League One to Championship, right? And I was told a lot of these players won't be here next season because we need to do better if we're going to compete in the Championship. Well, how wrong were they? You look, the football itself has changed, right? The pitches have got better. Right, and the way football is played has changed, but football is still football. That doesn't change. The ability for someone to close down, to read the game, that doesn't change from League One to the Championship to the Premier League.
No, and I just
some people can adapt, and some players can't. That's the bottom line, mine. And the thing is, 2 players that haven't been given enough chance. That have had chances, have been proved they can do the job, are suddenly dropped again. And that's Wolford and Burgess. What have they done wrong? I don't understand it. If they were obviously poor and out of their depth, I could get it. But there's too many changes as a reason why we're currently sitting where we are. At the early start of the season, we should not have been changing things around too much. We should have been giving players the opportunity to prove themselves. They're the ones that earned the right. They're the ones that got us here. They're the ones who earned the right to get us here. And if, like you say, like Morsey, I was always questioning whether he could do it in the Premier League. Now, for the first few games, he looked comfortable. But as the season's gone on, he's looked more and more uncomfortable. And it's a shame because he got us here along with the players that are around us. And you are right. Some of these players aren't good enough for the Premier League and probably won't be ever good enough for the Premier League. But why are they still saying? I mean, no disrespect's right. But, he's Christ alive, our backup to bloody Delat was Al Hamadi. I mean, Christ.
Yeah, but you're saying about sticking with the squad. All right. No, I hear you. And always welcome to your opinion. And I was wrong, by the way. I had 2 singers in mind, and I conflated their name. Ricky Martin and Julio Iglesias is who I was talking about topping the charts in 2000. But Mike,
can't be bad with them though.
They're banging tunes. To be fair, I'm not going to come on now. Make myself feel better. But Mike, appreciate you coming on.
Always.
Love it. Absolutely appreciate you coming on. And you've heard Mike's opinion. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think? What do you feel? He always invokes an emotion. Not really ever a good one, but he invokes an emotion, does our Mike? And so let us know in the chat what you feel. If you want to come on the show and have your say and sort of push back a little bit, you can do so. I disagree with him on most points he made, but there we go. That's football. Rob, did I miss that we just played Liverpool, the team who are running away with the Premier League and leading the Champions League group? Let's all chill. nice big deep breaths, and have a bit of perspective. Big word for me, that, Rob. Cheers for writing it. Appreciate it. Kerry says there's a huge step in class between the championship and premiership. That's why we needed and still need Billy. I've still got it wrong. It's not Julio, it's Enrique Iglesias. Of course it is. There you go. You see, I completely just got it all completely wrong. 3 times. There you go. Connect 4. Who else was in the charts in the year 2000? Who else? Who else can I remember from that? Was Boyzone in the charts in the 2000? That's a great. It might be. Let me know. I'm going to bring in Steve. Steve, come and save me from my poor pop knowledge. What are your thoughts and feelings this afternoon?
Oh, well, I was just typing one in chat for you.
Spice Girls. There we go. What, 2000? I thought they were disbanded by 2000. But anyway.
We're still knocking about. Look, at the end of the day, yeah, the last comment is important. We have to take perspective of who we've played in the last 2 games.
Correct.
You know, it was all of the. I saw it on ESPN, and at the end of the day, they were turning around and saying, "Well, I think it was some guy was turning around and saying, well, it must affect them." But Man City do that every season to somebody. Every season, somebody gets that from Man City. They got it last season. They had 3 times. They won 6-0 last season. They do it, to someone, Yeah. And we were that unfortunate team that they did it to. Like, at the end of the day, football's very, like Mike said, it's very simple. It's 11v11, and it's who turns up and does well on the day. One day you can do badly. One day you can, we did well against Chelsea, and we did what we needed to do. We got points. We did the same against Spurs. We got points. They weren't at it. We were, on the day. And what makes a top side is those who can do it more often than not. Right now, we're not, because we can't do it more often than not. Liverpool is, because they can do it virtually every week. Yeah. And that has to be taken into account. Quality of player has to be taken into account. Jesus Christ, some of them crosses from Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's off to Real Madrid. He's not going there if he's crap. They were sublime. Some of them were undefendable. I agree. That one went in for the header. That should, someone could have done it and closed him down a bit quicker. But you think to yourself, like, you're 3-0 down, you're probably knackered. It's just started second half. You're thinking like, ooh, not another half of this. And I don't know what it's like as a player who's risen through the ranks to play at Anfield. And we don't take, were some of them a bit overawed. Some of them probably never played there before. And I think I can imagine it's bloody scary for some people. I know everybody sits there and says, well, the professionals, they should have. Yeah, they're professionals, but if you've never done anything, it can still be a bit intimidating. And some of our players have never done that. And, they start off singing the song, right? I'm pretty sure it's intimidating to some people. And I know we probably don't think that because we're fans and we think professional players should be used to things like that. But if you've not played it very often, or you've never played it, you might not be used to it. Liverpool are used to that every week, so they don't care. It's water off a duck's back for them. But for some of our players, they're probably thinking, Jesus Christ, we didn't get this at Fleetwood. You know what I mean? And you can understand how impactful places like Man City and places like Liverpool are to a squad that's not been used to it. Yeah. And I think that can play a role. And we don't always see these things. These are intangibles that we don't see as fans. We just say, well, this player was bad. This player was bad. I disagree with Mike. I don't think Greaves was bad. I think he was at fault for one goal for the offside. But, I think that's a consequence of playing 3 defenders. One of them's going to be out of position because you're playing 3 defenders. It's a lot harder to keep a line when you've got 5 at the back than it is to have 4 at the back. I do think we need to start dumping this 5 at the back. I know why we did it, because Newcastle came, scared the living daylights out of us, and then we played Arsenal, and we had quite a good result against Arsenal. Then we had Chelsea, and we got a good result against Chelsea. But I don't know. We don't seem to be having much attacking threat, and I'm worried about that. At one point, 11 men were 25 yards from our goal. 11 men. You clear the ball, who's it going to? It's going to Liverpool. And they're going to come straight back at you. We need Delap to be at least on the halfway line all the time. So when the ball comes out, there's someone who can chase for it. Right now, if he's 25 yards from our goal, there's no point. He'll head it out 30 yards. It's already 5 yards ahead of him. There's no way he's going to get it. Now, that's why I think Enciso is going to be a good move for us. If we go back to a 4-2-3-1, Enciso can play in the 10. He can drop deep to pick the ball up and run with it. Delap can stay where the bloody hell he is. He doesn't need to drop back. I understand when we're playing tough sides, we may have to defend. I concede the fact we're losing them anyway. So whether we lose them 5-0 or 8-0 doesn't bloody matter. We're losing them. At least if we have extra attack, with a chance to win them, like we did against Spurs.
But do you think what Norman says here, Steve, is the reason why we've gone to the formation we've gone to, and some of the things that aren't helped with in a 4-2-3-1? Norman said we don't have the quality to dominate midfield. That's why we're parking the bus and not able to support the front 3 or 4. I tend to agree with him, Steve. I'll be honest with you. And a 2-man midfield with further, committed attacking players sounds great on paper, but I don't think our midfield has that ability in it to be what you need it to be in a 2. What do you think about that?
The point is, if you got 3 behind the striker, saying with then Seesaw, who will drop deep. He will drop deep into central midfield. Yeah, that's where a lot of his runs come from. He drops deep into central midfield, picks the ball up, and runs with it. Sometimes he'll pass it on. Sometimes he'll have a shot on goal. If you look at his career, that's what he does. Yeah. So that sort of player in the number 10 role will drop deep to give us a 3. Yeah. And he will bring us out of midfield. I'm not over-hammered with our midfield. I'm really not. Unlike Mike, I don't think, I think we're going out spending money on players we think have potential. Yeah. Because we can't go out and spend money on players who are the done deal. We can't afford it.
I agree. I completely agree. Yeah.
Same as the goalkeeper. Yeah. Some people say we need a goalkeeper. A good goalkeeper will cost you 30 million quid minimum. Have we the money to spend 30 million quid on one position? And remember, Southampton spent 30 million quid on a goalkeeper. It's not doing them a lot of good. You have to spend money on areas of pitch, where you can get yourself wins. They spent 30 million quid on Ramsdale, and they've got 6 points. So do we spend 30 million quid? Would everybody be happy if we spent 30 million quid on Ramsdale and got 6 points? No, they wouldn't. No. So I would argue we're spending it in the right way, getting players who can develop, getting players who can improve us. And if we went down, getting players who can make us a better champ. Like I say, we're a better team now than what we were last season. And
absolutely. Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
Even the idea, I didn't get Mike. I was a bit confused when he was saying, we've got to give the players, that got promoted the chance to run around, but he spent half the time complaining that Morsey wasn't good enough. You can't be so narrow-minded or blinkered in. I don't think Morsey is good enough. I really don't. I don't think Burgess is good enough. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. Yeah. In Sparks, I think he can do a job as a backup. I think Greaves is a better defender. He's got a higher ceiling as well. And to say, well, Burgess is an international. Well, I'd like to see, Burgess try and get in the England squad. It's a bit easy. I think Greaves could get in the Australian squad, if you're honest. He's just not Australian. So I wouldn't say that's much of an argument against him. I think he's a better player. I don't think he's suiting a 3. I think he suits a 2. To be honest, I don't think we suit a 3 right now. Against the bigger teams, I can understand why we're playing a 3. If we are, drop Davis, put in Townsend, and play a flat 3, flat 5 across the back. Yeah, maybe even have 3 midfielders, and then say a number 10 and a number and then Delap. I don't know. We need to do something against these top teams, but against the likes of Southampton, I think we can be a bit more attacking. I'd expect us to be a bit more attacking, but like we've always said, these games will not define us. They will not define our season. Next week will define our season. And, the games after that, they will. But when we play Arsenal, when we play teams like that and Newcastle again, they won't define our season. We've got through 2 of the toughest games that we're going to play, and we're still level points with Wolves.
Yeah.
Wolves,
Exactly.
Wolves have got to play Liverpool and Man City as well. So I think to myself, we're still in a good place. We've still got opportunities, but the key games for us will be the teams around us. We win them, and I think we got away with those draws when we played them first time round by beating Chelsea and beating Spurs, because they weren't games we were expected to get anything out of. I think drawing at Leicester and drawing at Southampton, we got away with that. We're not going to keep getting away with it. So we have to go in these games and fight tooth and nail and take them on. And I think we're more than capable of doing it. And Cecil's going to be a fantastic player for us, and I think hopefully we will go back to a 4-2-3-1, and that will allow Cecil to drop deep drop deep to pick the ball up, because our midfield, when it goes from the defence to the midfield, it's given away so easy. Someone's got to drop in there to help the midfield to bring it up to the front 4. You know what I mean? Because at the moment, It's just it seems like all we've got is a long ball from back to front to Delap, who's either over there, and then the ball goes straight down the middle and goes to a defender and it comes straight back at us. We just don't seem to have any options. And it worries me because most of the time we're playing 6 or 7 at the back and we've got like one player up front. It's not working and it needs to change. But against quality teams, sometimes that happens and you can't do anything about it.
Absolutely. Steve, appreciate you coming on the show. Look after yourself.
Cecil was my man of the match.
Yep. I think that's across the board. Steve, have a great Saturday night if you can. Look after yourself.
Look after yourself.
Chris Boyd, these last 2 games, I'm massively on to our goal difference against Wolves and Leicester, and that could really matter in the end. Don't forget, we are partnered with Stowmarket Osteopaths. Give Freddie a call, 01449 613 633. Don't live life in pain. Give Freddie a call, and he's the governor there. We are back tomorrow, 1 p.m, for more in-depth reaction to today. And thanks to Trevor, we've got one more band from the year 2000. It is, of course, S Club 7. And just like S Club 7 say, never give up, hold your head up high, and reach for the stars. We're back tomorrow. Take care. God bless. Look after each other. Bye-bye.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down or when I am blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Hopeless lover. I woke up all soaked in sweat, weird chills running down my neck. I thought went crazy from just the thought of you.